right, my Aries friends, how are you today? Aaron here, bringing your monthly horoscope for October of 2020. We have a huge month ahead of us, all right? This is one of the most jam-packed months of the year, one of the most influential and life-changing months of our lives, potentially, what's happening in October and November. All right, I'll talk about that in just a little bit here and what's going on. This is the energy we've been waiting for, okay? And this is all happening while we have a Mars retrograde and a Mercury retrograde, and we must surrender, okay? And you're an Aries, Aries rising, or sun, whatever it is that you've been called to watch this particular Aries video. So whatever's going on, you know, the two planets that are retrograde, you know, are ruled by, so Mars rules Aries, Mars rules Scorpio, along with Pluto, right? So this is kind of a double whammy for my Aries friends here, as there's a lot of energy that's suggesting to look at the shadow, to look at, to re-examine self, okay? And let's get into this right now, okay? One of the things that came through, this is the first video that I'm doing for the monthlies, and something that came through very loudly, and especially with this Mars retrograde energy and with the Mercury retrograde energy that's coming up. This little nugget came in that says, nothing is happening fast, yet nothing is happening slow. So all is well, as long as I stay in my lane and surrender to the flow. Okay, so that is a theme through the month of October. Staying in our lane, recognizing that nothing's happening fast as we might want it to be, whatever it is, but at the same time, nothing's really happening slow. Everything is happening as it should be. And as long as we're staying in our lane, focused on what we need to be doing and not other people, you know, surrendering and going with it, okay? This is extremely important for this month ahead. All right, so let's get into it. Right off the gate, we have a full moon in your sign at 9 degrees in conjunct Chiron here, okay? Really powerful full moon. Full moons are a full illumination of seeing the light, seeing where we need to be putting our focus on. And this is about self, you know. For you, this is about self and self-healing, self-care, all right? And not only self-healing and self-care, but the power of this self-healing is coming from the light illuminated by the other, the 7th house energy. Okay, so there is some serious romance going on, whether you're partnered up or single. There is some very loving energy, okay? And if you're a single Aries out there, okay, and you're in no place looking for any relationship, or if you just ended a relationship, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly normal. And this energy is shining that light from this side of partnership. It's like this is all is happening as it's supposed to be happening right now, and this is for all of our greater good. Okay, and as difficult as it can be sometimes, that this is all happening for a greater good, and there's a great amount of healing that goes along with this full moon, as it is conjunct Chiron. Okay, as well, this conjunction is creating that septile energy up here to the south node about releasing and letting go. Okay, and letting go of, you know, this could definitely be of other people's views on us, right? Other people don't determine our value, our worth, okay? And this little trine here is, you know, continually suggesting that this has started last week. I've been talking about here on the dailies, all right? So on the 2nd now, let me switch this over here to days. There we go. Now Venus is going to move into the sign of Virgo. Venus is going to actually move very quickly right now, catching back up to the sun. Okay, Venus only gets about 60 degrees away, while Mercury only gets about 30 degrees away. And this little pendulum that they both do. So Venus is going to enter your 6th house here, shining its light on value, okay, love, about service, about your service to other people. Okay, really powerful, really strong energy going on right here. And it's not until the 27th that Venus leaves Virgo and enters the sign of Libra. Okay, and it's going to happen. Mercury's going to retrograde back here, you know, and on the same day, on the 27th, Venus and Mercury both enter Libra. So as the sun exits Libra on the 22nd, okay, your partnership house. You've got two friends coming to help you out, okay, shine some light and some love and wisdom in this 7th house. Okay, so on the 2nd, Venus enters your 6th house of Virgo, about the work and the services. Okay, so a good chunk of this month, that 25 days of the month of October is really you focused on what makes your heart sing, what makes you happy, what kind of work do you like to do that makes you really, really, really happy. Okay, and there's also these little quintiles over here to Chiron, quintile up here to Saturn and to Pluto, saying discipline and transformation. And if I can, can I be the best boss I can be? Maybe you're breaking out, you're in Aries here. There's these new beginnings going on. There's rest happening here with Mars retrograde. And this energy is suggesting, possibly starting a new business, starting a new career. Something's going on there, and to give you strength and courage and the authority, to assume the authority position to be able to handle this business with a lot of love and a lot of grace. Okay, so that's on the 2nd, all the way the 2nd till the 27th. Let's skip ahead a couple days to the 9th. All right, Friday the 9th. We've got Mars squared to Pluto. Okay, now Mars is resting, Pluto is direct. Oh, I skipped that, didn't I? There you go. Pluto goes direct this month. Sorry, I glossed over that. So there on the 3rd, Pluto stations direct, and then on the 5th, it's fully direct. Okay, so the first time that we had this square, Mars was direct, and Pluto was retrograde. Now we have Pluto direct and Mars retrograde. Okay, and Pluto's the higher octave of Mars. These are both about taking action. Okay, Mars is saying take action as in physically. Pluto is saying take action transformatively. Okay, so there is a lot of healing. This is about the career, the public image, how you're viewed as an individual, how you're viewed to your peers, how you're viewed in your work relationships. And again, with this energy coming down here to Venus and Virgo, saying like there's a lot of heart and passion about the acts of service that you're providing right now, which is very beautiful, very powerful energy. Okay, and then of course Venus is going to start to create trines up there to Jupiter, to Pluto, and to Saturn as the month continues. Okay, so this particular Mars retrograde square to Pluto is saying put my ego to rest, put self to rest right now, surrender and allow this transformation to really take place. Okay, really allow it to come in and to change us. Allow that energy to move us, to let go of whatever we have to let go of. All right, so that's on the 9th. As well on the 9th, okay, let me scoot this up again. This is the magic, my friends, right here. Neptune septile to Saturn. Saturn being the father of creation, father time, if you will, okay? The ruler of the 3rd dimension, this physical reality that we live in, all right? And Neptune rules all this unconsciousness, the spirituality, the collective unconscious, the dreams, the imagination. Okay, so this is where imagination meets reality. And this is a destined and fate connection that is going to happen all the way until November 23rd. Okay, now this happened earlier in the year as well. And this is it. This is the final time. This is the final energy that we get. It's going to be hundreds and hundreds of years before Saturn is home in Capricorn and Neptune is home in Pisces. Okay, where they're completely unaffected by any other outside source, any other sign. Okay, this is extremely, extremely powerful in our manifestation process. Okay, so while Mars is retrograde, our planet of action is sort of sleeping this month. Okay, it's like a Buddhist term is doing nothing is doing something, and sometimes it's very difficult, and especially for all the signs, but the cardinal signs are the activators of the zodiac. They're bringers of the change. Okay, the fixed signs hold down the change, and the mutable signs are respectively weaker to allow the stronger cardinal energy to take over. So that cardinal energy is just like, I need to be doing something. I have to go, so there's this urge to have to go. And this is like nowhere, an urge to sit with self, to sit and to meditate, to enjoy this time and enjoy the creation making process is extremely valuable this month. Okay. So that's going to happen on the, it's starting here on the 8th. Forgive me, I thought that was the 9th. So this septile, because I've got it pulled up later in the day. So that septile starts on the 8th, okay? Starts on the 8th. And just the same, we have Neptune septile down here to Uranus. And that lasts until the 29th of the month, the 29th of October, okay? And Uranus is about creating change. Where Saturn brings pressure, Uranus brings the release. Neptune brings expansion, okay? So we're releasing the pressure of the old, releasing pressure of the old tried and true. We're releasing the pressure of this is how it's always been for 100,000 years. So why change things? It's like, it's kind of joking and saying, we might as well, if you're here in the United States and there's voting stuff going on, it's just like, we might as well just get carrier pigeons, and it's just like, come on, that's not where we're at in life anymore. We're not sitting here with carrier pigeons sending messages and voting this way or whatever it may be. This is a technological breakthrough happening here. The digital revolution, the age of Aquarius, is among us, and we must be willing to step into that unknown and shake things up in our personal lives in order to reach the dreams that we're all trying to obtain, okay? And part of this glory as well with Mars retrograde, okay, and taking a back seat, and even with the full moon that happens at the start of the month, there's an energy of like the kid who is bullied that doesn't want to turn around and bully. There's a responsibility with that individual. There's a responsibility that they don't want to inflict the same pain on someone else that they received. So they have to endure more. Okay? So we're not out here just saying we're doing the same thing that somebody else did to us. We are the bringers of this change. We don't have to wait for the world to change. We are the change. Okay? And you, the cardinal sign of Aries, whether it's the sun or again, whatever reason you're called to watch this particular video, you are the bringer of that change, and that change happens internally and inside your own life. Okay, and when we surrender to this flow, all this magic is going to happen, right? So that we can really benefit from Neptune septile to Saturn, Neptune septile to Uranus. Okay, and then you see this dotted line here, that's a biseptile between Uranus and Saturn. Okay, these are two planets that next year are going to be combative with one another as Saturn is moving into Aquarius. They're going to create a square. But at the same time, with Saturn moving into Aquarius, the reason I say combative is because Saturn is the brick wall and Aquarius is the unstoppable force. We have an immovable wall and an unstoppable force. It's conflict, okay? But the conflict is in the release of the tradition, the releasing of the old. And we must clear ourselves right now and make room internally, in our heart space, in our minds, to be open to something new, to something radical, to something groundbreakingly changing in our lives. And that's how we receive and achieve the dreams that we're after. Okay, I cannot say enough good things about the month of October. There are going to be challenges, okay? And especially with this retrograde energy that we want to move forward, we want to get these things done. It's like, it's just, sometimes it's just not going to happen. Or it's not going to happen at the pace that we might desire it to happen, okay? The river flows at its own speed. The wind blows at its own speed. And we don't need to come in here and try to force and push something, right? So powerful, powerful, powerful. On the 13th now, Mercury is going to retrograde. Bink, there we go. Mercury stations retrograde. All right, now we know this happens 3 times a year. It happened in Pisces, it happened in Cancer. Now it's going to happen here in the sign of Scorpio, and it's going to come back into the sign of Libra. This is us. We cannot escape our shadow. Okay, we have to be willing to do the shadow work. All right, we're going to talk a lot about shadow work this month, and especially when the sun enters the sign of Scorpio as well, okay? Because there's a ton of shadow work that needs to be done, and we need to look at ourselves. We need to shine that light on ourselves, on our own shadow, and rediscover ourselves, rediscover our passions, rediscover our joys, rethink where we have been hypocritical, or where we have done, where we've been wronged on one end and turned around and done it to somebody else, but then had our own, what is it? We think 70,000 thoughts or something like that a day, and then we realize that something about I don't remember off the top of my head, but there's a high percentage of these thoughts that are they're not accurate, and we rewrite our own story, we rewrite our own script to justify our actions. Okay, well, our actions are resting right now. Our mental thought process is resting right now, and it's resting in a place of the shadow. Okay, so this is a beautiful time to sit with self and recognize our shadow, recognize our actions, and allow this fate and destined connections between Neptune and Saturn and Uranus to Neptune. This is the universe speaking on our behalf. This is the universe stepping up and saying, okay, you want change. But much time it's, I want change my way. I want change like this, and I'm not willing to give this up. I'll do this, but I'm not willing to give this up. And this energy of this month is saying we must be willing to let things go. We must be willing to give things up. This is part of the Chiron septile to the South Node as well. We must be willing to give things up. We must be willing to give up thoughts. We must be willing to give up actions, repeat actions or daily things that we're doing, and form a new daily discipline. And Venus down there in the sign of Virgo is saying, yeah, I've got to show up and I have to do the work. I have to go to the gym and lift the weights. I can't have somebody else lift these weights for me. It has to be me. It has to be me doing that exercise. It has to be me doing the work, whatever it may be, me doing the shadow work. Okay, so there's a lot of responsibility on self. And this is what it's coming down to, is that responsibility. And it's a responsibility of the kid who was bullied that doesn't want to turn around and do the same thing to somebody else. There's a responsibility there. Okay, and to not be depleted or defeated if you're bullied, whether it was the past or present, whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying? But to not hang our heads low by it, but to stand up and be proud and strong of who we are, that we didn't fight back, or that we didn't have to do those same things, those same actions. All right, so Mercury retrograde starts on the 13th. All right. Moving forward a couple days here. I'm telling you guys get this the best because of how I'm able to move this chart, and you can see day by day exactly what's going on without, joining me. You can join me on the dailies. Obviously, we're going to dive even deeper into this stuff. But now on the 16th, we've got a Libra new moon. Okay. This is in your 7th house of partnerships. So again, my Aries friends, if you've got, you got your eye on somebody, this can be a very favorable month. Okay, and especially as we're putting ego to rest and putting our minds to rest, our worrisome minds to rest. We have, this new moon is creating a sextile over here to the South Node of letting go, releasing past information. And just because I was hurt in the past, or I was cheated on, or this person did this to me, will it happen again the same way? No, it will not. We must be willing to go our own way. This sextile and a trine down here to the North Node, seeking our own path, seeking our own truth. I am a seeker of truth. Okay, really powerful new moon here. I'm telling you guys, this is the coolest. This is one of the coolest months of the entire year. Then on the 19th, we're gonna have Mars square Jupiter. All right, Mars here squaring Jupiter. And Jupiter being in forward motion, we have all 3 of these bad boys up here in forward motion, creating the change in our life necessary, creating the change necessary and how you're viewed, how your work relationships go, okay? As you're having the sun squaring Saturn I kind of skipped over some of the sun square stuff, but I'm going to talk about all that in the dailies. I just don't want this to be an hour long monthly video for you. It's just, there's a point where there's just too much information coming in. But the Mars retrograde is very important, as our planet of action and in your first house is taking a bit of rest. So this Mars-Jupiter thing, again, it's saying, look, you want to expand your life. You want to expand, your career. You want to expand how people view you, transform your life. And this comes with, you taking the position of authority. All right. And at the same time, you're getting Venus now starting to trine Jupiter, trine Pluto. It's going to start to trine Saturn. Okay. That trine is an easy flow of energy between being passionate about the things, the services that you provide to this world, and how you're viewed as an individual. Okay, and allowing this expansion and transformation to come in, and allowing the discipline that follows to really stick. Okay, we're the end. These are the last 2 months of Saturn and Jupiter here in Capricorn. Okay, powerful, powerful, powerful connections. Now on the 22nd, there you go. Sun's gonna enter Scorpio. Okay, our shadow work continues. Our shadow work is going to really begin to deepen at this point. All right. Now, on the 25th, look at that. 2 degrees, Mercury conjunct the Sun septile to Chiron, Chiron septile to the South Node septile to the Sun, and Mercury conjunction. Okay. This is another one. We're going deep. We're going deep into our subconscious. We're going deep beneath the surface level thinking, deep beneath the surface level of emotions. Okay, and we're truly clearing out the cobwebs that no longer serve us. Okay, the shadow work that's coming up this month is so imperative. All right, and when we do this work, and when we have this insight that comes in here on the 25th, this can be our eureka moment. Okay, and our eureka moment, and that's going to lead to what? These healthy relationship stuff that is coming back in for you. Whether this is you're already in a committed relationship, whether you're not looking, whether this is, maybe this is just about your business partnerships, but the 7th house is all about partnerships. Okay, so the shadow work that we're doing while Mercury's retrograde and the Sun conjunct Mercury here on the 25th. Okay, we're healing the wounds of the shadow, of the things that we don't see, that we don't shine our light on. And once we do that, boom, boom, we've got, boom, boom, these are our boom booms. We've got Mercury and Venus coming back here, into the 7th house, which is about relationships and partnerships. So once we heal our wounds, we're able to have better relationship, not only with ourselves, but with other people. Okay. It's just too cool, man. And then on the 31st, this is the first time that we have had a full moon on Halloween. I don't even remember how long. It's whatever. You can find it somewhere online. I'm sorry. I don't have that in front of me right now, but it's been a very long time. I believe since the 60s that we've had a full moon. I think it was like 1968. Don't quote me. Don't hate me if I'm wrong on that. But it's been a long time since we've had a full moon on Halloween. But it happens at like 5:30 p.m. Okay. Nonetheless, this is the Taurus full moon, and this is conjunct to Uranus. Okay. Uranus, although it's no longer making the connection here to Neptune, right? And if we go back, the 25th, forgive me, I think I said the 29th. The 25th is when the septile ends between Uranus and Neptune. Okay. But it still maintains to Saturn, and Saturn still maintains to Neptune. Okay. So now we're having the moon, and what is, this is about release, emotional release. And we've been trying for so long to release this thing, and I've been stuck in my ways. I've been stuck in my rut. Okay. And this full moon brings to full illumination. And with Mercury retrograde and Mars retrograde, this is like, this is that butter melting on a bun, or that if you're a meat eater, it's like the ribs are falling off the bone. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just coming off with ease. Okay. So these things that we've been wanting to change in our lives for potentially months, potentially years, has the ability to be released with ease this month, especially on the 31st, you know. But we have to be willing to do this shadow work, undoubtedly. And we have to be willing to look at what we value, okay? Because Uranus is there in Taurus saying we have to change in what we value. You know, the selfie culture and hookup culture and you know, the humanitarian, you know, Aquarius is the humanitarian, and the rebellious planet of Aquarius is ruled with that, you know. So it's just like it's bringing it back to people and bringing it back. How do we want, you know, how do we want our children to be treated in a love situation? How do we want anything? You know, how do we want, do we always have a race with keeping up with the next thing, the next in thing? You know, the newest iPhone, the hippest of the cars. You know, there's this great documentary, the social, what is it called? The Social Dilemma. You know, and it's just like how advertising and social media and a lot of this stuff is so brainwashing that it sucks you into it, and we don't even know why. You know, these are powerful master manipulators that are controlling the information that we're seeking in, that we're bringing into ourselves, and how we're communicating back to the outside world. And we have this opportunity this month to completely dissolve and free ourselves of this. And it's just like, we don't have to be, you know, the person that just says, I'm going to go live in the woods for the rest of my life to get away from the ridiculousness. You know, this is saying, no, we can still be here. We can still be present, my Aries friends. We can still be present. We can still be a part of this society. And because we are the ones bringing the change, we just don't have to fit into everybody else's thing. Okay? So this full moon on the 31st on Halloween, the epitome of the shadow work. You know, and it's just like, look, where are we, how are we valuing, and how are we emotionally valuing things? What things do we emotionally value? And with this conjunction to Uranus again, and it's just rattling and shaking to where nothing can hold on anymore. Okay? Such a powerful month. I cannot express to you how beneficial this is. Okay, and if you want a chart reading, if you're interested in that, please give me an email, shoot me an email. My link is below, because this next month here into November, I mean, this to me is the month of the year. November's got a lot of beauty in it as well, and that Saturn, Neptune septile continues through November, but it's the work that we do here in October is what gets wrapped up, and then it's like the slingshot, okay? We're pulling back, or the bow and arrow. We're pulling back, and then finally, you know, once our eyes set precisely on the target, we release. And then we're going to go in that direction, and we're going to go with flying colors, you know, flying feathers on the arrow. So powerful month ahead. I can't say enough good things, okay? Shadow work time, baby. So what is it? Let's see. I feel like I'm like doing a Kepacha here. You know, Kepacha, you know, he's always got a little rhyme something going on, and it's kind of funny how it came into me today. Nothing's going fast, yet nothing's going slow. So all is well. And as long as I stay in my lane and surrender to the flow. Have a beautiful month ahead, surrendering to the flow, my friends. It's going to be an awesome month. We'll see you tomorrow for the dailies.